When you get an update on your phone, let me ask you this. When you get an update on your phone, do you have like the sudden realization that some programs snuck in you didn't download? They just showed up. You had no idea they were there. Has that ever happened to you? It honestly, it happened to me just now as I was getting ready to come on this live. All of a sudden I had programs. I didn't put them on there. They weren't there. Kind of was surprising. That's kind of what it felt like when I got diagnosed with diabetes. And that all of these things that I was dealing with here, the inflammation, the arthritis, the gout, the neuropathy, all right, the brain fog, the anxiety, the sleep issues, the skin issues, all this, they were all sitting right there. All of the signs of insulin resistance were sitting right there. And then all of a sudden, boom, there was. But we know, right, when we get an update, the phone's going to throw out stuff, right? We're going to get that. So when I was diagnosed with diabetes, it was like a punch in the gut, just like getting like surprise programs sitting there on my phone. So one of the things that we need to always be asking then, because here at 54, things that I completely neglected, things that I took for granted for a long time, and things that doctors never explained to me, was this issue of insulin resistance that was going on my body since I was just wee little one, right? Just wee little one. Actually, I was 9. I was 9 when I was first diagnosed with arthritis, which, again, is inflammation. All those itises are inflammation. And I will tell you right out of the gate, my wife saved my life. My wife was the one that truly saved my life. She was the one that found the protocol as a doctor. You know, and we started on this journey to help people heal. Her whole commitment is making it so that you don't need her anymore. Now, me, I like people. I want to hang out with people. I want to be connected. And she does too, right? But it's the reality of what we're doing. So one of the things that I've been working on is the 5 questions. All right, this is my approach to doing this. I will put that up here maybe a little bit later. I need to change it, so I've got that up there. The 5 questions that you need to be asking is: how are you exercising? What are your extras? Who are you encouraging, right? How are you eating? And then how are you elevating? How are you elevating? So I'm going to ask you this. If you're tired of the road that you're on, have you thought about paving a new path? Good morning. I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska, and I am sitting here. We are talking about insulin resistance today. So as you come in here, if you recognize maybe some of these things that are going on in your life, Matthew Rimbley, how are you? How are you? Dahlia Jana, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Where are you guys coming in from? Come in and say hello. Come in and say hello. I am Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. I appreciate you stopping by. Let me know where you're at. Where are you at? All right. So, Goog. I'm not sure what that one is. Good. Okay, there we go. So, let me ask you guys a question as y'all are coming in. I started with this one. Have you ever had those, you get an update on your phone and you suddenly find you're running out of memory and you go back and look and all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of programs that have been downloaded? Have you had that happen? Type yes in the comment. If you've had that like sneaky little programs that have gotten in there, type yes in the comment. Matthew, you're over in Maine. That's awesome. Oh, I've never had somebody in here from Maine. That's totally cool. Yeah, you've had that. Some other folks are here. Where are y'all coming in from? Introduce yourselves. We don't bite in here. We don't have that. I don't tolerate that. I don't like having people in here that are mean to other people or inappropriate. That's just wrong. All right, we're talking about health and wholeness. So there's plenty of other places if you want to go be, whatever. Oh man, a whole bunch of people left. So a whole bunch of people wanted to be nasty. I don't know where y'all wanted to get to, but yeah. That's kind of the way that I looked at when I was diagnosed with diabetes. All these things were kind of like downloading into my body because of insulin resistance for all these years. I didn't realize it. My sleep issues, my skin issues, my allergies. I was dealing with acid reflux, high blood pressure, arthritis. It was like all those things just kept like downloading. And eventually what happens is, in your body, it completely backs everything up and slows it down, right? your phone is going, I don't want to work anymore. I'm done, right? How many days does that feel that you get that brain fog and it's just wearing you out? How many of you guys feel that? How many feel that brain fog? You feel that exhaustion during the day? Because the thing that I learned is I don't have to. Hey, good morning. Thank y'all for coming in. Coach Ken, I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Let me know where you're coming in from. We got love to hear where folks. We got Matthew up here from Maine, and it's hanging out in the house. So when I was diagnosed with diabetes, my wife, I'll credit to saving my life. Now, she's a doctor, but her specialty is not endocrinology, all right? It's not with blood sugar. She is a dentist, and she's been doing that for 30 years, but she's always questioned the approach of the medical community to handling type 2 diabetes. And when I was diagnosed with diabetes, she was diagnosed the very next month. Now, one thing to know about us, we're both widows, and we lost our first spouses to conditions of insulin resistance. So when we were diagnosed with diabetes, we didn't tell anybody. Now, that's not a marriage thing that I would recommend. Right now we don't keep things from each other, but we were both kind of scared. We were both kind of scared because diabetes can be scary, and you don't think you have it, right? You don't think you're dealing with it, and I know I'm talking a lot about it, but insulin resistance, that you're going to be showing these signs before you get the diabetes. You're going to be showing these for 10 or 15 years before you ever get the diagnosis of diabetes. That's the nasty little thing that the doctors are not telling you. That is the nasty little thing, that insulin resistance begins 10 or 15 years before you start to get the big issues. You can start having other complications even before that. I'm honestly not surprised that 6-year-olds are being diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. High processed foods and what we're eating and crappy diets have been around for a long time. I was diagnosed with arthritis in 1980. I was 9 years old. See, we were doing that. We were diagnosing kids with child's rheumatoid arthritis. It's inflammation. It's the same root. It just presents in a different area. It just presents insulin resistance in a different area. So it also doesn't surprise me that 1 in 3 teenagers are being diagnosed with prediabetes. And it doesn't surprise me that colon cancer is the fastest growing cancer in the millennial generation. And one of the biggest problems is the fact that we're not getting fiber in our diets. How many of that surprises you guys? I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is just like when the phone starts to sneak in with programs when you get an upgrade. You get an update on the phone and you start dropping those in, and suddenly your phone starts to lag. Things start to build up over time. We used to, on a Windows operating software, you would have to do a defrag. We got to go in and we got to clean the crap off of it. Welcome in, folks. I'm Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Myra, how are you this morning? Good morning. You got school coming up here, right? You got any more biology? Was it health or was it a biology test? We're going to work on that. Okay, next test you come up, you need to be coming in here. We need to work on that. We'll come in. This is a great place to come in. We'll do health class. How about that? Let's do some health class in here. All right, everybody wants to help you out, okay? My wife would love to help you out. We can definitely do that, right? So good morning. So understanding what's happening in your body. So every time things start to come down, even when you start taking like a whole bunch of pictures and you don't like move them over to your phone, or move them to your computer, right? You get them into the hard drive. When they don't get backed up, right, they start to clog up your system. You start to clog up your system. That's what's happening with insulin resistance. Holy crap, I just got a whole new analogy today. Mind blown right there. Right? So when we are insulin resistant, what's dumping into our bloodstream? Here's what's happening. Let me show you guys. So let's see if I can do this. All right, we're gonna flip to front facing camera. Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if we can do that. Will it do it? Front facing camera. All right. Did we do it? No, it didn't flip. Let's do it this way. Is this going to flip? There we go. I got to do the flippy flip. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. So typically, all right, blood sugar goes into cells. We're basically downloading all of the blood sugar. All right. Insulin is what's going to unlock the cell so the glucose can get in. When you're insulin resistant, what's going to happen is you can't get in anymore. You cannot get in anymore. And when that happens, now your body becomes insulin resistant because you're clogging everything up. All right, that's where insulin resistance starts. So the bloodstream is now packed full of sugar and insulin and inflammation, and it's trying to find some place to put it. That's insulin resistance. It's just like your phone needing to get the quick upgrade, right? We got to upgrade it. It's going to upgrade so it functions best, and that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. So we need to be asking 5 questions of our health. Ooh, what do we got right there? Ooh, look at that. I'm backwards. Oh my goodness, would you look at that? Flip. Oh, that's what I did. Ha, flipping back. I go flip back and forth. All right. There we go. There we go. So here's my word for today. If you're tired of the path that you're on, pave another path. That's from Dolly Parton. Great quote. Great quote. How are you going to elevate yourself today? That's one of my 5 questions. How are you going to elevate today? And if you're not going to elevate, don't elevate. Don't do it. Don't do it. But know what those consequences are. Know what those consequences are on that journey. All right. I'm going to drop in. I'm working on a new slide. I'm really kind of pumped out this. So I got a new slide. I got a new picture. Totally cool. We're going to move that to the front, bring to the front. There we go. All right, I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one down. Let me switch this over. So this is my new little thing right here. I love this. I love this. Now you probably don't. You're not near as excited about it as I am, but that's the reality that trying to look into this. How this is key right here, folks. These 5 questions are the key that you need to be asking about your health. This is so very important. How are you eating? How are you exercising? What are your extras? Who are you encouraging? And how are you elevating? How are you becoming your best version of you? Nobody's going to do it for you. Not a single person is going to do that for you. You're going to have to do that. And I'm going to be here to help you guys. That is so much an important part of this. To reverse insulin resistance, we're going to address that. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to knock it out. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. This is how you're going to reverse insulin resistance. All right? Nothing crazy, nothing weird, nothing just out of the ordinary. All right? It's honestly something that just fits with our lifestyle. All right? And the biggest thing we're going to start with is how are you eating? What is it that you're doing? And the thing is, if you want to reverse insulin resistance, you've got to cover your food with fiber. All right, because that is the number one thing that we've got to do is cover your food with fiber. So you want to start any meal with vegetables. You want to start with vegetables. You want to make sure that that becomes the first thing that you do because vegetables become fiber. All right, they become a gel as soon as you start to eat them. All right, and so they will. Your gut basically is working not like a blender. Your gut's working like a bag. So what you eat first is going to settle right in there, all right? It's going to settle right in there, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that the fiber is the thing that gets in there first, all right? The next thing that you want to do, all right, is to go over and want to focus on getting proteins and fats. Those are going to be key right there. Those are going to be key to your overall health. If you would just start to do those in that meal order eating, that's going to be key for helping you to heal. If you could start to do that, that right there will be a game changer when it comes to reversing diabetes. So today, I just want you to focus on how are you eating and change that meal order this weekend. And starting today, when you eat a meal, start with a side salad. When you go in, start with side salads. Start with fiber and protein. Get that first. Get that in first. If you'll do that, you will see everything begin to shift and change. You will see everything begin to shift and change with your health. All right? Thanks so much for being in here. It's good to have you guys. Oh, I see a couple people came in. Welcome in. I am Coach Ken. I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska. Hope you're having an awesome one today. I was getting ready to get off, but some of y'all came in there. So I just wanted to see, is there something that may have jumped out for you right there that you're dealing with? Insulin resistance, prediabetes, or diabetes, maybe something on that list. And how you're going to reverse it. This is a lifestyle thing that happened. You got yourself there. I did too. I confess I was there. I did it. I did it. I didn't know. But my wife, the beautiful Dr. G, my wife saved my life. My wife, and I will say that again and again, my wife saved my life. And so I'm here to try to help other people save their lives. It's simply 3 things that we're going to do. 3 things that we're going to do. And these are going to help. Everything right here. Key is going to be found in the yellow and the blue. All right? The key is found in the yellow and the blue. How are you eating and what are your extras? All right? Meal sequencing, that meal order, fiber, fats, and proteins. And we also want to do intermittent fasting. Those 2 things. We'll talk about intermittent fasting another day. And what are your extras? Because there are 2 things that will help with that more than anything else. And that is Unimate and Balance. All right. Yerba Mate concentrated tea. Best thing in the world right here as a pre-workout, as an energy drink. This is the natural best thing on the planet for that. To get the fiber that you need, we want to get balance. And balance is as simple as taking this packet right here, putting it in water, and drinking it before your biggest meals. Adding that to your diet. Those 2 things, along with addressing your lifestyle, that's going to be key. But if you're not going to be serious, then it won't make any difference at all. And you're going to be stuck where you're at. So I want to help you along the way. So thank y'all so much for being in here. I'm jumping off now. Go get the day, make it golden, go be excellent to one another, and go be excellent to yourself.